Deathblows are a core part of Xenogears' combat system. They're flashy and have a lot of cool aspects, but there are also a lot of issues with them. For starters, there isn't a lot of depth to your Deathblow usage. Before you gain access to the 7 AP elemental ones, the best strategy is pretty much just to spam your strongest Deathblow each turn until the fight ends. Then you have characters like Ellie and Billy whose Deathblows go completely unused due to their focus on ether damage. On top of that, the sense of progression is pretty weak, especially considering you'll need to grind at least a little bit to unlock them. The only real difference between the old Deathblow and the newest one is the animation you'll be looking at for the duration of the fight, which isn't exactly inspiring for unlocking the new ones. For the Perfect Works build, we came up with a solution to help alleviate all of these issues and help flesh out the combat system even more. We achieved this by making each Deathblow possess a unique effect, be that changing the damage formula somehow, applying a debuff to the enemy, or a buff to yourself. In this video, I'll go through each of the characters' Deathblows and talk about the added effects they've been given, as well as a bit of insight into the design philosophy behind them. Starting off, we have Faye. Faye focuses on a mixed style of offense and defense, debuffing enemies with status effects to slow them down and weaken their attacks, while buffing himself and increasing his accuracy. On top of this, he has the ability to add elements to his attacks, which he can then combo with Billy or Sitan for a big damage boost. In combination with the changes discussed in Faye's own video, these effects really help him play the generalist role and allow him to contribute to your party no matter what role you might need him to fill. Ellie is a case where her Deathblows just never get used due to how low her physical damage is and her focus on spells. In the Perfect Works build, we sought to alleviate this issue in two different ways. For starters, Ellie has access to some incredibly powerful buffs and debuffs, which allow her to crank up her ether damage as well as even grant herself haste. While she will be doing lower physical damage for these attacks, they'll work as great setup moves for a hybrid playstyle. In addition to these, Screamer, as well as all of Ellie's 7 AP Deathblows, now deal damage based on her ether stat rather than her strength. This allows her to apply her stronger stat in combat, allowing for powerful single target damage as well as usefulness after running out of EP. On top of that, Screamer provides her with a non-elemental option for ether damage against opponents that might have immunities or absorb elements. Sitan is well known for his high speed and solid output already. As such, the power of his Deathblow effects were limited somewhat. That said, he still does have access to some very strong effects that can further amplify his damage. Many of Sitan's Deathblows apply elements to his attacks, which in combination with his shield spells means a powerful 30% attack boost. This also combos with his other attack buffing Deathblows, allowing him to stack up to 70% bonus damage over a few turns. Of course, for Sitan that won't take too long. Since Sitan's spells already offer such great support, we also wanted to limit him with these Deathblow effects by being a bit more selfish. This gives him a little bit more definition between playstyles, being able to focus more on support or offense. Bart gets a mix of elemental effects and debuffs, allowing him to fill an interesting hybrid role similar to Faye, but with a bit more focus on offense. Of note, his elemental Deathblows apply a weakness to the enemy of the element he used, allowing him to follow up for extra damage, or buff his allies with his mode spells to pile on even more damage. Billy is another character similar to Ellie who didn't use his Deathblows often. While he does have strong ether damage with his square attack, you never really wanted to use Deathblows. In the Perfect Works build, rather than leaning into buffs, Billy focuses on subverting his lower physical damage. Many of his Deathblows have the new Pierce effect, allowing him to ignore enemy defense completely when attacking, to counteract his lower strength stat. Of course, the power multiplier on these Deathblows were lowered a bit to compensate, but it allows Billy to do true damage without worrying about how tanky an enemy is physically. On top of this, he has also received a few buffs and debuffs to help with his ether game plan. Being the brawler of the group, Rico's Deathblows focus a bit less on effects in exchange for raw power. That said, he does still have access to some powerful effects such as Pierce, as well as debuffs to make himself even tankier and deal even more damage. Emmeral is similar to Sitan in many ways, being defined primarily by her speed. She's also being pulled in a couple different directions thanks to her ether prowess. To give her physical options a bit more of an edge, she has many useful buffs and debuffs to apply using her Deathblows, allowing her to enhance her sustainability as well as soften up the enemy on both fronts. Thanks to her incredible speed, she's able to set up quickly, which enhances the party's output, as well as allowing herself even greater flexibility. Of course, the remaining characters don't have any Deathblows, but if you're interested in learning more about the changes we've made to them, we have a playlist on the channel that you can check out here. As a quick side note, there was a bug in the base game with the 7 AP Deathblows. The learning formula for some of these was copy and pasted over, making them require the wrong type of EXP to unlock. We've corrected this issue, making all the Deathblows unlock in the same manner to keep things intuitive. We'll be following up this video with another one talking about the other changes made to the combat system, and the things surrounding the core of Deathblows themselves. If you're interested in seeing that when it comes out, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If any of these changes sound fun, you can download the latest version of the build from the link in the description.